Hello, good evening, and welcome to this evening's edition of GCBC 1. This is G. Coleman, 76. Andy Davo's away this week, but we do have a more than capable replacement in Bevan. How are you, Bevan?
Evening, Gav. Pretty well, thank you. It's nice to be here, although Andy seems to have left a suspiciously damp patch in the chair that I'm just not going to ask about.
That's just grim. Andy, of course, is gone to Poland, I think, this week to see his other half's family. Bevan's joining us from Vienna. I want to say Vienna.
You'd be right there.
In sunny Austria. Is it sunny today?
Actually, a little bit less, but sunny or not sunny in Austria tends to still be around like 22, 23 degrees. So for the UK, it would be a lovely day.
Right, so let's see what's going on in the UKBBL at the moment. It's going to get very hot in the UK this week. It gets very, very, very hot on Wednesday. Not looking forward to that. So at the moment, we've got... what race did we fancy watching tonight, Bevan?
I'm in the mood for a little bit of elf, actually.
What kind of elf? Got the choice of three.
Preferably high.
Is that because you have a thing about high elves?
Well, mainly because I'm playing high elf, so it's quite interesting to see how other people do it differently.
Unfortunately, there are no high elf games going on at the moment. There is a dark elf game going on. That's Thyrus.
Well, it's always fun to talk about Thyrus,
comes with a range of new features.
And there is Wood Elves. Oh, I'm going to have to turn Jim off. He's talking over me here. I can't do it from here. I'll have to do it in a minute. Shut up, Bob. Wood Elves or Dark Elves then, Bevan?
Let's go for the Dark Elves. Okay,
it's 1-1 at the moment. He's playing Flames of Hashut, so I'm assuming that's going to be Chaos Dwarves. Hashut, of course, is the dwarf god of fire, or he's a bull god or something like that. He is their deity. Oh, it's turn 13, so it's late in the second half. It is 1-1. I'm going to turn off the commentators right now. They really irritate me. So we've got lots of bull centaurs. Oh, there is a hurt hobgoblin. And oh dear, and there's a couple of hurted linemen. Thyrus' Dark Elf team, for the record, with the exception of Roxanne, are all named after the bastion of manly sports, which includes myself. I am the glove. At the moment I am knocked out. He is the hammer. I don't know where the hammer is. That's Davo. See, Davo's lying down there. Stamp on Davo. Come on, Rennis. Stamp on him. Yeah. We don't. How there's Jimbo Dini up there. Where is Charlie's having a lie down. Schaefer's having a lie down. It was sweltering heat earlier. And where's the hammer? He's not here yet.
Maybe missing this game.
So, how much experience do you have of Chorfs then, Bevan?
I played them for a season or two until I just found that I was getting very bored playing them, and it wasn't satisfying whether I was winning or losing.
He's picked up the ball. This looks like it's going very well for the Chaos Dwarves at the moment.
It looks pretty horrible for the Dark Elves from here, to be honest, doesn't it?
It's not great. We're not going to lie. Although you never know if he's forced to score quickly. Although a sensible player at this moment will probably stall it out. Funnily enough, little unknown fact about me. Good evening, Bob. Good evening, Ranjani. Good evening, Sebo. Good day from down under, Bushranger. Good evening, James Overlord, and good evening, Bulldog. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to all the other viewers who haven't said hi yet. It's great to have you here on stream with us. Chaos Dwarves was my Warhammer Fantasy Battle race, and I have this history with Warhammer games of choosing a race that then gets discontinued. And it's not just in Warhammer. It was in 40k as well. In 40k I used to play squats, and they got discontinued as well. So
see, there's something we have in common, because I had the exact same thing. Had a lovely little squat Warhammer 40k force.
Yeah. Then I looked at other ones, but yeah, it wasn't to be. Dode plays Rocket League. Well, I thought he was just Blood Bowl through. There we go. Good evening, Robbo, as well. Thank you for dropping by. This is looking horrendous. So I think we'll gladly sit here and watch the woe of Thyrus till its conclusion, and then we'll talk about how yours. In fact, let's talk about it now whilst we're enjoying Thyrus's torture. How's your season going, Bevan? And how is your team's development going? Considering you had both your blitzers killed, didn't you, in the first ever game?
I did, yes. The first season was a struggle, to say the least, and then by the end of the season, it had developed quite well. The thing I was trying to develop most was actually the linemen. I wanted as many leap wrestle linemen as possible, and I was doing quite well on that. I think I was up to 4 or 5.
Okay.
Had some recent deaths on there, and I'm down to 3 now, but one of them does have guard. But so far,
which division are you plying your trading this season then?
Howling Hills West. And
a nice tier 3. Oh, he's dodged through. He's going for a 2 dice uphill. Oh dear.
Oh.
That's ballsy. Well done, Davo. Oh, wouldn't it have been great if we'd seen Davo die? Are you looking forward to Legendary Edition, Bevan?
Very much so.
Are you going to change races then?
I am, yes. Which is a complete shock to those of you who know me.
Is it really? I mean, you change races as often as you change your underpants.
I do. Well, actually, I change my underpants a little more than every other season. But it's, I do have a tendency. I don't enjoy carrying on a team if I'm not enjoying the play style. And the last...
You've been playing Blood Bowl long enough now. Surely you've discovered which play style you like.
Well, to be honest, I'd like to give it a couple of seasons in competitive play to see whether I enjoy it, because sometimes it's a bit tricky at the start and then you find you get into it, and sometimes it's lovely at the start and then, like with the Chorfs, they were interesting at the start, but I just found them quite repetitive and dull by the end of it.
They are.
But no, I'm very much looking forward to Kislev. I'm hoping that will be my forever team.
You still not found them then?
No, not really. I mean, if Legendary wasn't coming out, then I probably would stick with High Elves doing the leaping High Elf thing. And over in the other league, in OCC, I definitely do enjoy Goblin Heavy Orcs, and that's just a lot of fun. So
didn't you go have Goblin Heavy Orcs in the UKBBL as well?
I did, but if you as I'm sure you recall, when we first switched across to Blood Bowl 2, and for some reason they decided to unfairly gimp orcs. And we lost Bomber Dribble Snot, which was a bit of a blow, but then making the blitzers even more expensive, I was not happy, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to try something different. But since they've rectified the rather stupid decision, then there's no reason not to be playing them again.
So that's what you're doing in the OCC. The OCC have recently moved to Blood Bowl 2 for their main league, or are they still split about the same? The
yeah, I mean, as far as I know, that the original OCC Blood Bowl 1 is still going, just not with too many coaches in it. But they switched roughly at the same time as UKBBL did, and did the same as us. There was both run at parallel.
Bushranger asks, have you considered leaping halflings?
I have never considered leaping halflings, although it does sound something more like Bob would do, and I wouldn't want to steal his thunder.
Did anyone see the new screenshots of Legendary Edition today? Goblins look amazing. Well, yes they do. And on that note, I can't say any more. But yes, they do. They really do. And that picture is fantastic.
Is that just going to be Goblin models for the Goblin race, or are they reskinning the ones in the Orc team as well?
No, the Orc Goblins are likely to stay as they are.
That's okay. I'm perfectly happy with how they
So you have race-specific Goblins, which is a nice touch, I think. I'm interested to see if the treemen on the halfling teams are different to the wood elf treemen. Oh, they've been putting the boot in. That'll upset Thyrus. I know for a fact that Charlie Banks was watching this game live as well, and he criticised this Chaos Dwarf team for having too many Chaos Dwarves. He said, "What's wrong? What's wrong with having 15 Hobgoblins and a Minotaur?" I don't know. Hi, Bob. Actually, with our viewers tonight, who else is likely to change races at the start of Blood Bowl 2? Oh look, there's a double skull for Thyrus. He'll be raging about that. That could only get worse if he's injured. No, there we go. He'll be blaming Jim for that one. Jimbo got stunned. So there we go, viewers. I'm asking all of you, with Legendary, what are you dying to try? So, Bevan, if Kislev doesn't work out, he scored. Didn't expect that. Give the Dark Elves a chance to score back. If the Kislev don't work out, what are you thinking would be the next choice for you?
Well, the other team that I've always been interested in but never played in competitive play is Underworld.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. Right, the fact that all the star players are coming makes, I think, Underworld a very solid league choice. Very solid league choice.
See, you're not helping with my decisions here, because I pretty much got myself settled. But hearing things like that does make me.
Well, you have. Let's have a look at their star players, right? First of all, Glart Smashrib Jr. in the game already. Now, you have to, with Underworld, I think, heavily manage the TV. Okay, your TV's not going to explode like it does with other teams, because you're going to have a fairly large amount of turnover of players. So a lot of times, if you get to the top ends of tier 3 and certainly in tier 2 and beyond, you're going to be playing uphill a lot of the time. Now, if you manage your TV well, you can take a Skitter Stab, who's a very fast. And tell you what, an Underworld team with Skitter Stab is a difficult team to beat, because he's so fast. You have a number of star players for different situations. So you have Fezglitch. Fezglitch, he's a movement 7. Disturbing Presence, Prehensile Tail. You can't block him because he's a ball and chain. He's movement 4, strength 7. He is ridiculously good. Alright, he doesn't have blocks, so, you know, occasionally. But he's only on the pitch for 1 drive. But he's low value. He's 100k or something ridiculous like that. So that's a great player. You've got a tin opener in Glart Smashrib Jr. You've also got, I think, who else can have? Bomber Dribble Snot, I want to say. I think they can have Bomber Dribble Snot.
See, now here's an interesting question. And Bomber Dribble Snot is a 60k, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Then are those 60k players going to be able to take full advantage from the minus 50k star player stadium upgrade?
Yes.
See, that makes not only Underworld great, it makes Orcs even better. Because if you give me Bomber Dribble Snot for 10k every time, I'm having him every match, even if I have to pay for him.
Well, you can't have him every match, only home games.
Well, yeah, okay. Every other match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
Hopefully my away games are uphill.
I tell you what, that's one of the things that I really, really like about the stadium enhancements that we're using in the UKBBL, because it just tweaks that meta once again. I'm not saying it's the same game. It's close enough for it to be recognisable as Blood Bowl, but it's Cyanide Blood Bowl and it's UKBBL Blood Bowl, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, it's been a long time since I played tabletop, very long time. So I'm not really in the camp of it must be like tabletop or it's wrong.
Yeah, but even in tabletop, right? Even in tabletop, you had house rules. It was pretty standard. So yeah, going back to the Underworld secret weapons, Bomber Dribble Snot, Fezglitch, the sensor carrier. He is 100k, movement 4. He doesn't need an agility. Ball and chain, no hands, secret weapons, foul appearance. You need to roll a dice to even block him. There we go. Well done to the Flames of Shark. Well done, Rennis. Well defeated of Thyrus. Let's bring on another game. Let's have a look at this.
Is Ceramol playing tonight?
He is. He was the Wood Elf game that was on the go, so I think he was 1-0 up as well. Oh, we've just had another game just start actually. Let's see what race if that's an elf team. Oh, we've now got Hon's playing. Let's watch that game. Hon's High Elves are now playing. Stepdads.
That sounds like a really good choice.
That's an Orc High Elf game, that is. I think Paul B. Razor, are top of one of the Premiership divisions, actually. So this ought to be a treat. Your bats, Orcs, Paul B. Razor. Oh, they're fourth. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth versus 11th in Premiership East. So clearly not going so well for Hon without lost early. Oh, and that's what we like to see, a nice high elf being smashed in the face by a Black Orc. Let's have a quick look at Hon's team before we go back to the Underworld discussion. So he's got a blitzer over here. Going all down. He's going thrower hunting. So that's a blodging, tackle, sidestepping blitzer. He's got a block guard lineman. Catcher with sure hand, dodge, wrestle and leap. A lineman with kick and dodge. Nothing lineman. Another guard lineman. A strength 4 wrestle lineman. An agility 5 wrestle dodge lineman called Roll. A wrestle guard lineman. And another blodging, sidestepping, tackling blitzer. On the bench he has a thrower with nothing. A catcher with wrestle, dodge and sidestep. And a thrower with strong arm and accurate. Well, what more can you want? Looks like
it's a great team.
He's got a 14-man roster. Not carrying any injuries. The Orcs, on the other hand, let's have a quick look at the Orcs. So he's got a thrower at the back here. This is an agility 4 accurate blocking thrower. I've got exactly the same build as that, so that's good. It's exactly the same as my thrower, that one. He's got a frenzy mighty blow blitzer. Don't like that. I'm not a fan of frenzy. He's got a loner blitzer playing for him tonight. He's got a kicking blocking lineman. He has a movement 7 mighty blow grab, is that? Is that grab? Yeah. Grab, tackle, movement boosted blitzer. A block guard black orc. A block dodge tackle mighty blow blitzer. I've got one of those as well. Building things exactly the same as me. Another block guard black orc. A block mighty blow black orc. And a strength 4 block lineman. And the troll, just guard. So yeah, this is interesting. This is like my orc team. Very similar to my orc team, although he is missing goblins, which is depressing.
Yes, that's the one thing that is missing from that team. But I'm a person who thinks that anything less than 4 goblins is wrong. So
well, I'm afraid I think that if you've got more than 3 black orcs, it's wrong as well. But there you go.
Actually,
he only has the 3 black orcs, to be fair to him.
I found that the standard setup I go with is on a given offensive drive, and usually on the defense as well, is the troll, 4 black orcs, 4 blitzers, and 2 goblins. I've very much become a convert, thanks to Robbo actually, of ditching the thrower and using one of the blitzers and taking short hands as the first skill and using them as the ball carrier.
The problem with that approach is you can't really throw the ball.
Not reliably, and certainly no more than short distances. But the counter to it is that you've now got a team with 8 movement 6 players on it, and that completely changes the dynamic with orcs. And to be honest, my goblins have won me far more matches than any other players.
It's probably fair. I won 1-0 last night against Undead, and who scored for me? My goblin. And that goblin skilled up. He was a rookie goblin as well. He's skilled up. He's now a movement 7 goblin.
Very nice.
It's not bad, is it?
I think they're also underrated on defense. That ability to just skip through the line.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And get into that crucial position.
Yeah,
if you can get some skills on them.
Yeah.
I mean, the beautiful combination of sidestep and diving tackle. That's just a really good defensive player to have.
Good evening, Bundy. Good evening, The Bend. The Bend is who I played yesterday, and he's going to be counting successful orc dodges today. What? So I dodge a bit.
Oh, we got a bad injury on the pitch.
Oh dear, that's apothecariable, isn't it, on a guard piece?
Absolutely.
Or do you risk other pieces?
I'd be straight out with the apoth.
That's cut. He does
Wow.
have. Do you know why he's done that? It's because your bat's at home and it's a referee rest area, so there's going to be fouling coming. That's why he's done that. He's figured there are more valuable pieces than a guard lineman at the end of the day, and I'm talking catchers with multiple skills, blodging, sidestepping, tackle, blitzers, and that thrower. A guard lineman is nice, but he's not nice enough.
I'm pretty sure I would have APOThed that one. Even when you were talking multiple skilled catchers, I'm not sure any of them have got doubles, have they? They're all just standardly leveled up.
Yeah, standard. Pretty standard, yeah.
I certainly would be looking at anything that's doubled.
The strong arm thrower
stats
is nice. The strong arm thrower, and there's an agility 5 rodging lineman.
Yes, yeah.
And there's a wrestle guard lineman. I think it's probably the right decision. I'm not sure I would have.
It's not that bashy, this Orc team. What have they got, about 4, maybe 5 with Mighty Blow?
Troll, Blitzer, Black Orc.
2 of them are Mighty Blow tackle. I mean, that's a little bit more concerning for the catchers.
Another Blitzer. He's got 4. He's got 4.
You can't protect a high elf team. You're going to take the hits, but
the linemen are there to protect the positional, surely.
Not once they've got guard. They now become much more useful, and that is a gem of a skill. My last match I played was actually a high elf mirror match, and my guard was out, and the opponent had a guard. And the most difficult piece for me that entire game was not his plus stat guys, and he had a lot of them. It was that guard piece, and I really had to concentrate on stopping that guard piece from really spoiling the game for me. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I would have thought about it and then APOThed that one. But I can understand the reasoning that you gave as well on not doing it with some of the other nice players out there, and so early in the game.
Yeah. No, M2, you never know. That bottom of that division is very, very tight. Just looking at the chat here, Fred West at the bottom. There's a handful of points separating the bottom 4 or 5. I know you're a little bit adrift, but if you go on a run of 3 wins, 10 points. Most seasons, 12 points is enough to keep you in or around the relegation, to keep you up. So there's plenty of games to go. If you go on a bit of a run, now I know your team's looking a little bit the worse for wear, I'm not going to lie. I mean, alright, you're Skaven and you've only got 9 fit players, but that's beside the point. Don't give up. Fight until the fight is done.
And play aggressively. I think that's the key. When the chips are down a bit, don't go into your shell. Just get even more aggressive, and you'll be amazed what can happen.
So, how is your season going this season, Bevan? Are we talking promotion candidates?
After my last win, I've got to wait for the tables to get updated, as down in the West don't tend to get updated until the game rolls over, but I will either be second or third. And I've played 5, won 4, lost 1, and the one I lost was against the kind of joint favourite. I was joint favourite at the start of the season with the little voting thing we had in there, along with the Orcs, or one of the Orc teams, and they beat me. Good coach, good game. But apart from that, I've won all the other matches. But we have been taking more deaths. My high elf team does like dying, so it's always keeping it interesting.
I wonder why he pushed that Orc blitzer to that square, because all he's done is actually put a piece next to the troll to reactivate the troll next turn. Isolate the troll, gets him out of the game. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Falling over. 2+ dodge.
I really wanted to go in and make that foul.
Oh, and there we go. It's actually worked. He's got the Black Orc off the pitch. That's a block Mighty Blow piece. One less Mighty Blow piece to worry about. Well done, Hon. Well, I suppose.
Are you a little bit surprised there? He didn't go for the blitzer instead of the. I mean, you get more assists, but the Mighty Blow tackle blitzers have got to be more threat to the High Elves.
Well, the blitzers on their own need a friend to get 2 dice. That's often the thought process there. And their armour's the same. So.
Yeah, I guess the number of assists in the end was the thing that swung it.
Right, who you gonna put a bet on in this game?
And this is a tricky one to say the least. I mean, it's 2 good coaches. From where it is now, if the Orcs can control this drive, then they're in a solid position. And I'd have liked to have seen the High Elves trying to get in the backfield a little more aggressively and stop the Orcs setting up their formation. But
the problem that the Orcs have got here is he's got 2 or 3 pieces that are actually quite isolated, and with that bribe in hand, it's an easy way to remove pieces. And then if you're facing with 6 or 7 Orcs against 8 or 9 High Elves, it's a problem. It's a problem. So now he's got them isolated. In fact, the Orcs almost look more like the High Elves here, because the High Elves are very much clustered all together here, whereas the Orcs are a little bit more spread out. It's interesting. I don't like this guard piece over here on his own. He's in the wrong place.
I think this is the wrong game to be using your guard Black Orcs as part of the cage. And those guys, I mean, traditionally, they're in perfect position because it means that anybody coming in is 2 dying. But you need to get some support and start hitting the High Elves because of that numbers. I think the biggest point that you'd raise there was actually the bench.
Yeah.
There are only 12 Orcs, and now with 1 off, that's 11. And if it goes to the Orcs are playing men down, then the High Elves have got a massive advantage. But next few turns, I think, will be important. The Orcs definitely need to get some pitch removals.
The Orcs do have the wizard in hand, of course. There is a wizard to play with.
Yeah, and how tempted must he have been to have already released that one and try and take out the centre of that High Elf area with all the rather nice players. I'm glad he didn't. I'm not such a fan of doing damage wizards rather than a tactical wizard, but it must have been a bit of a temptation.
I've seen some very odd, even from around the UKBBL this season, I've seen some very questionable wizards used at questionable times, or what I'd consider. Some people claim that the wizard is best used when he's not used because it changes the way people play. Other people, I play against wizards an awful lot. There's no way to play against with a 15-man Orc team and not be facing the occasional wizard, of course. You just have to suck it up and just maybe alter your cage so it's slightly looser. And then other people are like, no, you got to hit nice and early in your defense with your wizard, and this is going to be another foul on that very scary looking Orc blitzer here.
Yeah. This
guy's going to get a shoe to the face in a minute.
I think that's the point from earlier about having the guards actually in the wrong place. That without guard over there, those 2 are in large amounts of trouble and are going to get stamped on. If he'd had some strength forums and guard over there instead and used the other players to hold the cage, then it wouldn't have been so easy for the High Elves to do this. They'd have had to have committed more to it.
Oh dear.
Oh, greed reroll.
Well, it was a turnover otherwise. If you want to get the foul off.
Oh, he did that with a
dodge kick piece.
Block or wrestle. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Given he's got plenty of ones he could have done it with.
Yeah. Good evening, Farron. Out of interest, no M2. What race are you playing in the OCC? We'll check back on that in a minute. So going back to Underwood. Oh, there's another injury. This is great news. That's a badly hurt. He won't get ape off. That is the kick piece though. That was an armour value 8 lineman. Not that made any difference there at all. Double 6 on the injury. Double 5 on the armour. He won't roll that on the foul. Of course, the foul won't be doubles at all. I'll tell you what, an injury on this Orc Blitzer now, and this is looking incredibly good for Hong all of a sudden. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a double. Oh. That is only a stun. That is the bribe.
Yeah, bribe's gone and just for a stun. Well, I think he's still got to be happy with taking out one of the Orcs because they're looking like they're going to be playing men down, and as we said just earlier, that could spell disaster for them against a good coach with a good high elf team. What was it you wanted to say about the Underworld?
Yeah, so going back to the Underworld, now you're hearing that they are a race that I think will be uber competitive, in my opinion, or certainly more competitive. I don't think they'll be tier 1, but certainly tier 1.5, and they'll be able to. It would be nice to see an Underworld team get to the Premiership. I'd like to see that. We've never had Underworld in the Premiership. We've had Ogres in the Premiership. We've had Halflings in the Premiership. I don't recall ever seeing Underworld in the Premiership. Thinking about it, have we ever had Amazons in the Premiership? I'm just going to have a look. A quick flick back.
I'm pretty sure we had Zons.
I'm just having a look. Back at the old.
A few seasons ago.
I'm just having a look now.
I think they got mullered, if I remember rightly.
Oh, so the good, the bad, the good, bad, the titchy. Ogre team was in Premiership East back in season 7, coached by Doug Lowe, with a record at the end of the season after 11 games of 1 win, 1 draw, and the rest. That was season 7. Norse, yes, we've had Norse, Orcs, Chaos, Undead. Nothing exciting in that season. Humans won the Premiership back in season 5. In fact, they won the whole UKBBL back in season 5. No, nothing interesting then. So then season 9, I think, is when all this interesting stuff came out. So then we've got the High Elves are there, Skaven obviously. So that's season 9, season 10. No, still no Zons. Nurgle obviously made Halflings. There we go. Halflings were in the Premiership in season 10. The Lancashire Hot Pots, the original Lancashire Hot Pots, not the corky ones, but the verbal ones. Still not seeing any Zons. Vampires. No, I'm looking out for vampires as well. Vampires and Zons is what I'm looking for. Necro have made a. No, still nothing in season 12. Season 13. No, still nothing. 14. Vampires. Lorenzo, good old Lorenzo from GCBC 2. Premiership Vampires, season 14. Still no Zons. No Goblins, of course. No Underworld. Season 15, we've had Khorne. Khorne have been in the Premiership on 2 occasions. Zons, here we go. Yes, we've got the Zon team with the inappropriately named, and this name would be banned now, the single-use girlfriends. And Pro Elves have been in Premiership as well. Chorfs. That was season 15. So Zons, yes, but so Underworld, Goblins are the only 2 that haven't been to Premiership, unless you can think of any others. Domestic Violence made it. Oh no, they didn't. They didn't get to Premiership.
Did they not? That's the team that I thought had made it.
No, single use. I will wait. Oh yes, they did. Yes, you're right. They were in Prem East as well. So Zons have been to the Premiership twice. So we are waiting. We've seen Corn. Bretonians have been there because they're in there at the moment with Itchin. So yeah, there we go. There's your challenge. There is your challenge, Bevan.
Well, it's the UKBBL team is tied up. That is going to be Kislev, and without a doubt. And
Well, true. Kislev have never been to the Premiership either.
they've never even won a game.
There you go. Plenty to play for. So
Though
Bob,
I'm still interested to see what the roster will be. I mean, there's lots of assumptions that we can make about the roster and how different it will be to the Slan roster that you can see on places like Fumble.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
I didn't think you would, as much as everybody would love you to. And yeah, but my suspicion, and this is without any knowledge whatsoever, so if I accidentally get it right, it's not because of insider knowledge. I think it will be exactly the same as the Slam roster, except that for the big guy, they will switch it to Wild Animal.
I can
Which
neither
makes more sense
confirm
for a bear.
nor deny.
Yeah, just saying. So it's
Ooh.
on record. That's my prediction.
In fact, Vampires have made it to the Premiership twice, because Squall took them to the Premiership as well. So yeah, Underworld, Khemri have been there, Undead have been there, Necro, Pro Elves have been there twice, Vampires have been there twice, Halflings have been there twice, Goblins no, Underworld no. Every other race has been to the Premiership. So there we go, sports fans. Oh no, that's an error. So there you go, sports fans. There's your challenge. I want to see within the next, after Legendary Edition comes out, I'll give you 10 seasons, which is a little over about 3 years. There we go.
Of course, the coach that would have the best chance, probably in my opinion, of doing that would be Pitpad. He knows his Underworld, and he's a very good coach. But if he's tempted into taking it, and I've no idea whether he is or not, whether he wants to stick with his current team, whether he'll change. I suspect he'll change, but to what, I don't know. And if he decides to go Underworld,
once we tell him and throw
money.
down the gauntlet to him that Underworld have never been to the UKBBL Premiership, it's going to be too much for him to resist, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Pitt's very much his own man, and he's not gonna get swayed by anyone trying to persuade him. But
It doesn't mean we're not going to try.
He might be tempted. Oh no, of course you have to try. But yeah, I think if we were looking for.
And there we go. He's got the play. He's got the thrower down.
Oh, nice. Let's see where this ball goes. This is critical for the Orcs.
Oh, and an armor break as well. Look at that.
Oh, now that's favourable for the Orcs.
Is it?
Well, compared to going off the pitch and going to where they haven't got any
What he
players.
needs now is an agility 5 piece somewhere.
And it would be nice.
Except he's on the wrong side of the pitch.
And from the high elf coach's point of view, he wanted that ball going straight in the crowd and then being thrown
I tell you
straight.
what, 2 go for it's here from this guy, and then a 2+ dodge and a 2+ throw.
Oh, he's got the ball in the crowd, but not how he wanted to.
Oh, that's brilliant. Look at where that's scattered.
And in the end, that isn't the worst thing that could have happened for him, because that's in a horrible position for the Orcs now.
This is where... Is that a dodging blitzer on the left-hand side here? Is all that?
No, it's
No,
the
it's not.
frenzy blitzer.
Well, that's useful.
Well, he can bring the Black Orc with guard around and do a frenzy blitz on. It's a skill, skillless high elf, and then use that if you're feeling brave to pick the ball up, or if you're not feeling brave to go and at least mark the ball up. Judging from all those high elves around, I think I'd be picking the ball up.
This is a numbers problem for the Orcs now, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're in a horrible position. They're screened from the ball, the majority of their team, and up against a team that's quicker with more agility. it's if the Orcs can come out of this not 1-0 down at half time, I'll be very, very impressed with the Orc play, because it's going to be very hard to do that from here.
Yes, Noam to Ogres, as Bob said, did make it to the UKBBL Premiership in Season 7. The good, the bad, Titchy. Douglow, it was a ridiculously good Ogre team. And so yeah, Underworld definitely have the tools. The problem in Chaos Edition for Underworld was the lack of star players available to them. They only had the choice of Morg or Bomber Dribble Snot, which was a massive, massive problem for Underworld. And when I moved away from playing High Elves, my choice at that time, well, that's a good position, Orc. I like that. My decision at the time was somewhat swayed by the fact that Underworld didn't have any star players available, and oh, that's great as well. And Orcs had all of their star players available. Oh, that's an armor break as well. That's good. So that levels out the numbers.
Yeah, he's done everything he needed to this turn. I mean, it's still looking a bit of a position, but a good turn for the Orcs from a very limited
and he's picked
position.
The ball up, so that's good, isn't it?
Still needs a bit of luck here. Could do with actually blocking with the troll and taking out the elf, moving the troll down.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Ooh. Oh dear. I'm not sure I would have risked that yet. I think I'd have liked to have taken those 2 high elves out at the top first and risked the troll.
You roll a double one.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That was either a really stupid with the troll, or followed by a double 6, no less. At least he failed the double one late in the turn, rather than on picking the ball up or something.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's now relatively simple for the high elves to do this.
Pidpad's just joined the channel. Yeah, Underworld can make great use of the wizard. 2 heads, big-handed goblins. Although Pidpad, I'm sure, builds his Underworld team very differently from me. I've got some form with Underworld. I've done quite well with them, but not in a perpetual league. I've never played Underworld in a perpetual league, so I'll have to tip my hand to Pidpad on perpetual league Underworld. But
I think the high elves there back in the match, I think they've just made their lives a bit more difficult by doing that block there. By not getting that Black Orc down, it's moved it out and made it much harder.
Brilliant block though. Look at that.
Yeah, that's certainly salvaged it.
Is that a tackle piece? It's not a tackle piece. So this blitz is free to nail this guy. It's still not looking great for the Orcs, is it? No. Basically 2 heads on everything is the way to go. Yeah, I agree with that, Pidpad. 2-headed storm vermin, very, very good. Mobile guard, and then turn your line rats into your killers. That's what I like to do.
Well, there goes the ball carrier.
And there he's got the ball, and away he goes.
Although now we're seeing the problem of doing that block on the Orc. It would have been much easier to have brought one of those 2 high elves down from the top to go and stand and stop that blitzer from just getting up and hitting this guy back. Although, to be fair, he hasn't got tackle. He's going to get 2 1-die hits unless he can bring an assist across.
There's the go for it.
Why go for it? Just stand him up. There was a risk that you didn't need to take. So by doing that extra move, he has forced him to go out and
Now he's got
it'll be a go for it,
Yeah,
and it will go into uphill as well because of the frenzy. But I'd rather have one die followed by uphill than just one die in a case where if I don't get you down, you're scoring anyway. He's stopped the Black Orc from being dodged out of that little crescent of high elves by bringing in Sven, the lineman. Now, so there's no way he's going to get that guy across to support him.
What's a 5+, 5+, 4+? What are you talking about? That's golden, isn't it? Ask Bend from last night.
It's Farron you want to talk to about golden dice. If you ever get a chance to talk to Farron about how he managed to draw his FA Cup game with Robbo involving bull centaurs doing incredibly unlikely things, that was possibly the biggest amount of luck I've seen in many a season.
So, Pidpad, as we have you here now, right, and Farron's just risen to your comment, ask Farron about things like that, which is awesome. As we got you here, Pidpad, so what skills do you take to help your Underworld team handle the ball better? We'll wait for his answer on that. And if you're gonna play uphill, which 2-star players would you take, or does it depend greatly on who you're playing against? I'll wait to hear your answers. It was a 0.806% play. That equals safe.
That sounds about right.
What play was this? I want you to tell me now. I think I missed this.
I can't even remember all the things it involved. It certainly involved 3 go for it. Involved throwing quite some distance. I believe a bull centaur catching in a tackle zone and then dodging out of it. And with no dodging skill, didn't have break tackle.
Okay, so Pidpad's going to answer about the star players in a moment. When you say you're going to answer in reverse order, no throw, it was just a handoff.
Oh, interesting here from the Orcs. They decided not to go for the ball carrier. They put a man on it and then just simply blitz off the guy who was assisting.
I think what he was looking for there, fun enough, was actually a frenzy block to get 2 pieces around the ball carrier, and then he's
would have been ideal, yeah. Would have been ideal.
Star players, Skitter, and then depends on opposition, but Glart and Bomber both shine against various opponents. What about Fezglitch? Does he have a place? They're talking about. Was it who upset Farron then with a ridiculously long shot play?
No, it's Farron who did it.
Oh, Farron did it
against Robbo in the FA Cup to tie the match. I was actually on Discord with Robbo at the time, and he took it very well. I think appreciated that lovely Blood Bowl moment of this should never have happened.
Fezglitch only leads to turnovers. Nobbler? Take Nobbler Blackwater in any situation? Or is it all about Skitter and then Glart and Bomber? As for ball handling skills, how many skills do I get to pick per position? Skaven Thrower. Talk us through your Skaven Thrower build on a Underworld team then, Pid. Start with the Skaven Thrower, because he's obviously the most obvious ball carrier. He has sure hands to start with. 2 heads. Nobbler versus AV7. Okay. So managed to blitz off that orc.
Yeah, I'm guessing here actually that is he actually going to score? Is he going to stall? I think he's going to stall.
I think he's worried because he's out of rerolls.
It's quite a sensible stall, to be honest. He's dodging now. He's got rid of the tackle piece, so he's got a 1 in 36 chance of failing this dodge. But I suspect he is going to try and stall this out.
Why? Why though? Why would you stall it out? I mean, orcs.
Well, the orcs at the moment are not in a fantastic position for doing a lot of damage to you, whereas as soon as you set up again, you're going to be facing some of the orcs' punchy players in better positions.
Yeah, spin it on its head though. Spin it on its head. Right, you score. You've got 2 turns to try and score another one. If you get a blitz, he's taking the score.
Yep.
And there's a black orc woken up. And there's a high elf woken up.
I'm actually glad he did what I wasn't expecting, because personally, I always try and score if I can. It's not often I stall. Maybe when it's getting towards the end of the game, I might thinking of that. First half, very, very rarely stall. Simply because I do like to play an aggressive defence and get in the backfield and try and nick the ball for a 2-score turnover.
It's interesting. I'm reading what Pidpad's saying there about Underworld. He never managed to get a ball handling thrower towards 3 skills. But if he had the choice of taking one there, he'd go block, because you need it. Accurate surprises me. And then fancy stuff, probably extra arms. For the accurate, do you build the throwing game and do you plan to throw to your Skaven, or do you risk the animosity? I'll wait for that answer. Bob, no offence, but I'm going to listen to Pidpad about Underworld and not your harebrained crazy plays. The only throw I got to 3 skills was my block, mighty blow, claw, dauntless tackle one. Nice, Pid.
That thing was not a thrower, it was a blitzer.
You don't plan on passing, but you do it anyway. Nice. Huh. Brilliant. Okay, so how do you build your storm vermin then? Do you make them killers? Is that what you want to do, or do you build them some other way? So that throw had movement 6 and agility 1. Nice. Not surprised, he was probably a target with that skill set. Right, so the elves now are looking for a blitz, aren't they, really?
Ideally.
This is
I mean,
done.
you've still got 2 still got 2 turns. You can still get into that backfield and score if you're aggressive enough. And he's gone for
his kick piece. He does have his kick piece as well.
Yep.
Perfect
he's
defense
set up
as
how
well.
I like setting up as well.
It's a perfect D as well. Oh, look at that throw. Look at that kick.
That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. The only thing that can be better is on the other side of the pitch.
How would that have been better? Because the throw is over there.
Because with the perfect defense, you could line up right up onto the halfway line and not be in contact. Whereas over on that side, you can't line up because he's actually got a couple of orcs over there.
Pidpad's building his Underworld team. We'll read that out in a minute. I think he's finished. And the troll? You've left the troll out. So Pidpad goes the first storm vermin that skills, block, mighty blow, claw, tackle. Second one, block, mighty blow, tackle, claw, in that order. Lion rats, build them both the same. Wrestle 2 heads, horns and tackle. The first goblin, horns and 2 heads, cage breaker. Other goblins, 2 heads, big hand, and extra arms. There's your ball carrying. There's your ball retrievers. And then the throwers, as you've built them already. One's a killer, one's a ball carrier. And then just the troll to go, which I would assume is claw, guard, disturbing presence. What else do you need? Foul appearance if he gets that far. Stand firm. Stand firm might be nice. Testicles, always good.
Grab.
Yeah, grabbing testicles. I like what Hon's doing here. He is really putting in. It even looks like an arrow. What he's done there. Look at that. It's like, I am going to go for that spot. Oh, he's ruined it now. I'm disappointed.
I was interested to see whether he would try and base up as many orcs as possible, which normally isn't a very good tactic. When there's only 2 turns left and you're looking at the possibility of bombing down there and turning this over, then basing everybody up when the opposition hasn't actually got any rerolls left.
I don't really want to look at Bob's troll. Well, it's not as outrageous as I thought, actually, Bob. So Bob built his team: Underworld Goblin, Wrestlehorns, 2 heads, nothing wrong with that. Skaven Thrower, Dodge, Kick-Off, Return, Extra Arms. Underworld Goblin with Foul Appearance and a Fractured Skull and a Smashed Ankle. Troll, Block Guard, Claw. Skaven Blitzer, Tackle, Horns, Claw, plus Edge, Mighty Blow. Oh, that's not a bad play. Lineman, Tackle, Wrestle, everything else is hurt, Bob, so it's not terribly... It doesn't take years for things to level up in an Underworld team, to be honest, because the thing with an Underworld team, no AM2, is that you kind of want to not be on the pitch with everybody else for too long, so you want to score quickly and then run away. And you put, like, I used to always put my worst goblins on the line of scrimmage.
Ooh.
That's not a happy start to a turn, is it?
No.
That was a lucky reroll. Why are you starting your turn with your troll, really? Your first line of scrimmage block is with your troll. That was curtains. If that had gone down, I tell you.
Yeah. And there goes the last reroll.
Now you've got to get back to the ball. You've got, and it's a loner as well. That blitzer at the back is a loner as well. Not that it matters. He's got no rerolls left. But this is not pretty.
It's an interesting tactic. I think he's looking at stop them there rather than attempting to cover the ball, and unless he's going to drop that entire left side back and cover, which probably would be a good idea at this point.
Yeah, sometimes with orcs you just got to say, I'm not going to score. Oh, I don't know. Do you throw one piece downfield just in case? I think I'd
not
have to.
From this position, and you're in a really bad position. This is where you need the goblin. A goblin here, and you've got a credible threat. And it's only 40k onto your team value. Even if you go for the view of my goblin is only there for 1 turners, and 40 extra k on your team value is not going to kill you, but it is going to give you a credible 1-turning threat. Well, sort of credible.
Pidpad's just corrected. He said 2 heads. You have to take 2 heads on your Storm Vermin before they take Claw. So same builds, but you take the 2 heads just before the Claw in both instances. 2 heads is amazing. I totally agree with that. What about guard then, Pid? Do you not build some key guard pieces? If do you just forego the guard completely? Do you just have the guard on your troll? Because there is a distinct lack of guard in that. I know you don't want to base that many people, but maybe 1 piece that has guard at some point. What about a 2-headed troll? Bob, the fact this is why we don't ask you for advice when you start talking about 2-headed trolls. Yeah. Okay, so
graphically it would look good though. You got to admit.
I could never level the goblins properly. The horns are wrestled. 2-headed goblins both died. Goblins do die quickly, but getting to 6-star player points isn't that hard for any player, to be honest.
I think there's a little bit of a myth about just how squishy goblins are. They are squishy, but that a stunty effect is not that bad. It doesn't give you any extra chance of being permanently injured.
They're claw immune.
They're claw immune, which is always nice.
Often often there's not enough tackle on a team that you're playing against.
Absolutely, and they have much better ability than anyone else apart from like skinks and the stunty players.
Here we go. Right, now what's going to happen?
They can get themselves out of trouble faster than they got it into trouble simply by using the positive side of stunty of ignoring tackle zones.
Oh crikey! This is
High Elves
quite
can
good.
win the game in this
They
half.
can. They certainly can. This is why Hon didn't stall Bevan, like I said.
No, I mean, but would you have expected Jorbat to have done what he did this turn and not really defend the ball at all?
Oh wow, look at this now. You're relying on that loner. I hope you've paid that loner in advance, Jorbat, because he is either going to make a huge name for himself right now, or he's going to cost you the game.
The only thing in the positive column for the Orcs is that the speed players for the High Elves were out of position for getting into the backfield. They were too far back.
Al Bundy, that is correct. Stunty, that is exactly how Stunty works. What Bevan's saying there is, once you've got the injury roll, it's still badly hurt on a 1 to 3 on your D6, and 4 it's going to be miss next game, 5 it's going to be a niggle or a stat issue, and 6 is dead. What he's saying there, so that is exactly how it works in Chaos Edition. What he's saying is, once you are injured, Stunty doesn't actually make you more injured, but it does mean it is in effect Mighty Blow. Or
but no, you also don't get injured more, because all it does is convert the number 9 KO roll into a badly hurt, not into an injury.
No, it's an injury.
Badly hurt.
No, it's into an injury.
Have they changed that?
No, that's always been the way.
I swear that, because I can't remember who it was that mentioned it to me, saying that's how it worked. That all it did was convert it into a badly hurt.
No.
It's a shame we haven't got a player with Stunty around here. We could have just clicked on to look.
Oh, I've got the rule book here. Oh yeah, that is how it's worded.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, the player treats the roll of 7 and 9 on the injury table after modifiers is played as KO'd and badly hurt respectively.
Yep.
Rather than normal results.
And that's why they're not any squishier long term. And okay, you can lose him for the game, but the stat busts and all the nasty stuff from getting injured, you are no more likely to get it.
Apparently that's not the way it's coded in Blood Bowl 2.
Really?
That's what... No, apparently that's not the way it's coded in Blood... That was me watching the own stream. Just ignore that.
Well, I've only got anecdotal evidence to go for as far as Blood Bowl 2 that my goblins haven't been suffering mass injuries, and my goblins get hit a lot because I don't protect them. And I don't see the point in protecting players that have got useful skills for standing there and annoying the opposition. A lot of the times their skills are useful when they're in base-to-base contact. But so either I've been very fortunate with my gobos, or it is correctly implemented. What we need is somebody who's got some insight and knowledge with the contacts to the game people. I don't know whether you know anyone like that, Gav.
No, I wouldn't like to say. Tector, there you go. You sure I've had nothing but badly hurt my skinks on a 9. Maybe what you're thinking is 9 with a mighty blow hit. I should keep an eye out for that. I've never really thought about it.
I hadn't until I just can't remember who it was. It's likely either Pid or Robbo who pointed out to me, because they're kind of the people that I would go to if I've got a rules question I'm unsure of. And they're pretty much normally always right. But I honestly can't remember who told me. I guess lizard coaches are the perfect ones really to test that out, because they'll have far more stunty players than anyone else until we get Underworld.
Apart from stunty teams.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look on the new Focus forums. They have changed them. Bug reports, there we go.
Well, the Orcs did the sensible thing in this game anyway, of making sure that the High Elves couldn't go through and injure the ball by taking out the only person who was capable of doing it.
Problem with Stunty and Mighty Blow, here we go, it's actually a known bug. Problem with Stunty and Mighty Blow, if you roll an 8+ Mighty Blow, standard casualty roll. If you have a 9+ Mighty Blow, always badly hurt. It should be the contrary.
Sorry, say that one again slowly, Gav.
If you roll, the problem with Stunty and Mighty Blow where they stack, if you roll an 8+ Mighty Blow, you're getting a standard casualty roll. However, if you roll a 9+ Mighty Blow, it's a badly hurt, which should be the other way round. It's just mixed up.
Okay. So they have attempted to code it in, but made a mess of it.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this now. I'll bring this on my stream right now. Show you where I got that information from. So I'll just bring up this monitor. There it is, right in front of you there. This is a known LRB skills behaviour. This is on the new Focus Home Interactive forums, which went live earlier this week, or last week I should say. There we go. These are the known bugs. These are the known bugs that we will be linking to from the Code of Conduct, which is being revised as we speak. So there you go.
In that list of known bugs, is that a case of these are known bugs and we are working on them? Or known bugs and we have no intention?
They are working on an awful lot of them.
Okay.
I don't know how many are going to be fixed. I have asked that specific question, and things are being worked on. A lot of I mean, there are other things, now they are known bugs, there are a lot of things that they're working on, obviously, correct living rulebook, 6 skill implementation, stuff like that, which they've talked about. Obviously, a lot more, a lot of star players coming out. I don't know, they've actually put a really nice list on this new forum as well. Let's see if I can find it. The stuff that they're going to be bringing in. There's a new legendary overview thread. Right, so go through what they're actually doing. So, for new players, the Legendary Edition with all content of Blood Bowl 2 will be at full price of a game. Contains the base game and the team pack Wood Elves, Lizards, Nurgle, Norse, Necro, Undead, Dwarfs, and the official expansion. For existing owners of BB2, the official expansion content for the price of a big DLC. And you will still be able to purchase individual races if you so wish. There will be full compatibility between the two versions, so most small features and quality of life changes will be available to all players, even those who don't purchase the expansion. We've got the 8 new races: Amazons, Goblins, Vampires, Ogres, Halflings, Pro Elves, Underworld, Kislev. This is all publicly available, so that's why I'm reading it out. This is not anything to do with NDAs or anything like that. Kislev, and it does say in brackets, as Bevan was commenting on earlier, based on the rules of Slam. For a total of 24 races, the current 16 and the 8 new ones. I'm quite pleased that the Orcs managed to avoid the turnover there, so well done to the Orcs.
It's kept it interesting, at least.
Indeed.
It's still uphill for them, but a score from the High Elves would have finished it off.
Yeah. So they will have a Swiss system competition, so we'll be able to run one-day events and two-day events if we so wish. Team editor, choose a race and get unlimited gold, as well as the option to add any skill stat injuries. These teams will get a custom tag which can be banned from a league, but it does mean you'll be able to take your actual team into an FA Cup match if you choose to do it that way, and have a proper knockout event, so you could actually create exactly the same team as you have. Lots of things that we can do with that. There's a new solo campaign mode, any race with perpetual campaign, and you have a match similar to what they did in Chaos Edition, but not restricted to one race. A brand new stadium based on Khemri theme. Expect lots of sand. Mercenary teams, star player teams, new chat tab in a league, similar to the old lobby.
Thank God for that one.
Manual seedings in competitions, thank God for that one.
Yep.
Possibility to play a league with a mix of human players and AI teams. Not sure we'll use that, but in a pinch, maybe. AI enhancement, not sure about that. Optional skills, it's been discussed a lot with the community. More skills will be optional. Pass, dodge, tackle, fend, tentacles and break tackle. So they will now be optional skills. Pass, dodge, tackle, fend, tentacles and break tackle. Although I have to say, when would you ever have tentacles as optional? Throwing that out there right now. Can you think of a reason why you'd have tentacles as optional?
If you feel that the player getting out is going to end up going into a worse position. If you think they're making a mistake by moving them.
I'm sorry to hear that, Waldorf.
Is there anything that you know that is publicly available about the new admin tools?
I'm just having a look now. Possibility of playing a league with a mix of human players and AI teams, said that. AI enhancement, optional skills. Option to deactivate aging in solo league. Enhanced competition administration. Possibility to add a match in details to include touchdowns, injuries and star player points specifically.
That would be very nice.
Well, that's coming. A pause system in multiplayer. So 3 pauses per player, like timeouts in NFL, and no time limit to a pause. Any player can unpause at any time during a pause, even 5 seconds after a player paused. Players can use the chat function during the pause, so that's going to be very useful for private leagues. The fact that you can't transfer to a new stadium with your Khemri team will force you to re-roll to Underworld, and that's the silver lining. Nice, Waldorf. Right, here we go. Let's have a look. Turn off the base skill icons.
We got former champions going for it.
Yeah. If your opponent is doing something very, very stupid, you'll let them dodge. Okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. New cheerleader models, not one per team, but a bit more diversity. I want to say something about that. I'm not going to comment, but I want to say something. But I won't. Cheerleaders will have the same colours as the team that they're supporting. Nice. We're going to see the Fire Nork cheerleaders in the tiger print. Can't wait. Option to display the tooltip in Dice's probability 2+ instead of 83%. And I don't know if any of you have been watching the stream tonight. When the dice rolls have been coming up, it has been in the dices rather than the probability, because I don't know why that's happened. I guess it's a crossover from some testing I may have done, but now my game is doing that. I don't really know why, because it's not an option in.
Does this mean that we really ought to be adminning results against you in the league because you clearly now have an unfair advantage over your opponents.
I only noticed that tonight. So yeah, if you watch closely, watch out for those rolls as it predicts them for you. You'll actually see them rather than the probabilities, which we've seen many times before. So that's not my fault. I am not streaming from a beta. This is the UKBBL League. Yeah. Lots of star players. They are aiming for 50. Ooh, I didn't get to see that dice roll there. More detailed dice logs. Option to mute chat in a match, if you really don't like it. Option to ban players from a competition in-game, and lots of other small things.
It's almost a shame to interrupt you, but this all was
it's an
to be
interception!
A hero.
The High Elves got an interception!
Oh, after all that heroics of getting to the ball, and he goes and does that.
That's a shame. And Arian changed the code to his showed the 2+. He said, I didn't change any code, just to be clear. Oh, and there's another injury for the Orcs. It doesn't rain, it pours. That was a black Orc as well. Oh dear. And some screenshots. For those of you that haven't seen the screenshots, these were released by Netheos about 6 hours ago today. So let's bring them up right now. Putting them on the screen in front of us now. There's Legendary Edition. Ta-da. We're aiming at late summer, early September, depending on how tests go. Maybe a bit delayed. We have some complicated features on the list. Resurrection mode, for example, and we want to implement them correctly. We prefer a slight delay. So let's scroll down. There we go. There's the pogo stick. Goblin. On screen right now. Exciting. There's the Kislev bear. There's some more goblins. There's the Bombardier and the Fanatic. There is a Pro Elf. There is a Vampire with some Thralls. There is an Underworld. No, that's the Goblin team actually. That's the Goblin team that you're looking at there, obviously. Pogo sticks and all the secret weapons around. There's the ball and chain in the background. So there you go. That's the screenshots. So those of you that haven't signed up to the Focus Home Interactive forums, this is you can get there from the old forums. I'll show you. This is the old forum here. You just click on the new forum right there. It takes you straight back here. Okay, you're back on the new forums.
Gav, I don't know whether you know this information off the top of your head, but assuming that they are on time or maybe even just slightly late with their time scale that they gave us there, so early September to mid-late September, how does that sit with UKBBL on whether we switch to Legendary Edition next season or the season after?
It's a decision we're going to have to make when we know.
What's our current time frame that we're looking at this season should finish?
We're in week 5, aren't we? So week 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 takes us to the 14th of August. 2 weeks to the playoffs takes us to the 28th of August, and a week to turn around. So it will be early September when we're looking to start the new season. Would we want to delay it past that? Don't know, is the honest answer. We might, if we have a firm release date at that point, do what we did with Nurgle and Khemri and say we're going to start the league, get in a placeholder team, and if the game isn't released by a certain time, you'll have to carry on with your pre-existing team. Don't know. That's an option available to us. It certainly worked for the Khemri Chorf release. It's something that we possibly could do again. This is looking good for the High Elves now, isn't it? Another win for Hon. This is time to use your wizard, I think, Yorbat, if you want to get anything out of this game.
Well, if he does use the wizard, has he got anyone that's got a hope in hell of recovering the ball?
Well, to be fair, Glasshammer, and you say, you know, the optimistic December 2018, nice. They actually did give a date for the Khemri Chorf release, and they pretty much met it. So I do honestly expect Focus to release the information about a release date well in time for us to make an informed decision. Oh, he's leaping now as well. Look at this. To make an informed decision in time. Oh, what a blitz that is!
Ah, this is what I like to see: leaping high elves. Yeah, I don't think the wizard would make a jot of difference now. He'd have to be really lucky with the wizard, take out the ball carrier and the ball spill backwards, and then he might get his strength 4 orc to the ball. But even so, it's gonna probably just get murdered next turn.
It's not looking pretty, is it? Let's be absolutely honest about this. This is looking absolutely dreadful for the orcs now. Yeah, what can you do now? That was a great blitz on this loner blitzer, because even if he uses his wizard now, there's nothing you can do to get there. Again, why have the loner blitzer nearest your backfield? You've got to have your safety there, haven't you? Where is your safety?
Would have thought so.
You've got to have a safety orc. This guy, Sawzog, the movement 7. He's the safety. That's the guy you need at that. Here comes the wizard though.
Yep.
It works. It's armor break.
I mean, movement 7 with tackle. Yeah, I mean that's the best he could have hoped for. Let's see where the ball bounces.
It's not going anywhere exciting, is it really? Well, hello.
Well, it's gone the right direction.
So now that lineman can get to the ball. This is a chance for that lineman, the strength 4 one, Sawgob, to make a name for himself now.
And with a good choice of blitz, he could get that blitzer you were talking about back into assist and cover. So maybe he could scratch together some kind of defense.
There's an injury. The Orcs have had enough. It's a badly hurt high off lineman.
That's another guard out. Maybe too little too late, but certainly a player that you'd want to remove.
Nobody can help you with these decisions, folks. People like Keith Carr, the choices you're going to have to make. We've been there, done it all before. This is like the 5th version of Blood Bowl that Cyanide have released. 6th, I forgot the lesser known Dark Elf edition. So you had Blood Bowl 1, the original, the vanilla, as you will. Then you had, there's another one.
That's an interesting one. I wasn't expecting the blitz to come there.
It freed up your superstar safety orc, didn't it?
But the superstar needed the blitz to get through.
Yeah, he did really, didn't he?
It's freed up, but there's a horrible screen facing him.
Well, it's passing play time. Good evening, Ceremal. Did you win? Yeah, passing play. This orc lineman's going to make a name for himself.
We're looking at the strength up orc lineman to pass to the skillless orc lineman.
No. You're going to throw a long bomb to the thrower, and the thrower will be away then.
Well, surely you throw it to the lineman and then you hand off to the thrower.
No. You do this throwing thing all wrong.
Actually playing the percentages.
No.
Well, there goes your prediction as the thrower heroically runs backwards.
Clearly not a passing orc team, is it? And by the way, before you even start going there, neither was your orc team.
Sorry, who holds the record for orc passing?
Stuff and nonsense.
Who holds the record for... It's a simple question. Who holds the record for orc passing?
Just because the game's coded incorrectly and counts past...
Who holds the record for orc passing?
Well, it's you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
But who holds the real record?
Me, because it's in the record book.
Oh dear, failed pickup. There's a 3+. 3+ pickup! Did you see it?
Yeah, I kind of liked your idea there of throwing it. I think throwing to the lineman and handing off to the thrower was the one to go for, but I did like the idea of doing some throwing.
Oh dear, down he goes.
Yeah, well,
further is better when it comes to throwing. Absolutely, Bob. 100%. Glass Boy, you've just spelt orcs with a K. This is not 40K. Orcs are spelled O-R-C. A few deaths may make the decision. Yeah, you'll get plenty. You'll get more than a few deaths with Underworld. 4-0 Ceremal. Bloody hell. Rerolling my team is the same feeling as when my dad left. That was the hard. I have to say, I'm very much Keith Carr. I am very much in your ilk. It was the hardest thing I ever did was to re-roll from High Elves, because I even now I have to go in and play a game with High Elves and remind myself why I left them every time to time. I do it about once every month to remind myself why they completely frustrated me and broke me. I can never change from Fire Orc because I literally did buy the t-shirt, the pitch, the team, the barbecue apron, the underpants.
You have a barbecue apron
with a Fire Orc logo on it. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Was that something you bought yourself, or
as a Father's Day
family present?
Father's Day present.
That you must have been chuffed as nuts when you got that.
Over the moon. I've even got my children wearing Fire Orc merchandise. Is he going to run it in? Oh, he could go for 2 go for it's now and run it in.
I don't think he will. He's 1-0 up. He's totally in control.
Oh!
That's why you don't do it.
Keeps it interest. Oh, it is a double one!
Yeah. That's he's still hot favourite to do this, but there's why you don't go for it when it's just not necessary.
Well, now it's a passing play, surely. Let's please, Orc passing play. What could go wrong? Nothing could go wrong. Question: are ogre teams going to be built with snotlings or goblins? It could make a decision for me. It's going to be snotlings because that's what it is in tabletop. That's what it is everywhere now. They are overpowered with goblins. The community would not accept that. They won't mess with that.
Was there ever somewhere where they were built with goblins?
The very first ogre roster was built with goblins, but they were too strong.
I'm not surprised. That would be awesome.
That's why it had to be changed to snots. That's why the new ogre team you buy comes with a goblin. Yeah, but it's still snots. The stats in the rule book that's been released is still snots. What new ogre team, by the way? There isn't a new ogre team. It's the re-released old ogre team. Just for the record. The one that's been done at the moment by Games Workshop. It's definitely snotlings. Yeah. Exactly what Pidpad said. Just take the dodge. Don't re-roll that. Yeah. Okay. You can get, obviously, Brickfarth and Grotty, obviously, has Grotty, the Goblin. So he can play for the Ogres. The Ogre star players, for the record, in the wealth of knowledge that I'm bringing to you live tonight, is Nobbler, Chainsaw, Bomber, the Goblin Bombardier, Scrapper Sawhead, and Brickfarth and Grotty. So there are potentially 4 Goblins you can have playing for the Ogre team. Along with Brickfarth, Morg, and Bertha. Don't underrate Bertha Big Fish. She's a 290 break tackle dodge ogre, and we've seen how good a break tackle dodge ogre can be a couple of seasons ago. It's a couple of weeks ago, in the night that Andy was speechless for the first time all season. You sure he couldn't speak? He just couldn't speak. Yeah, when ogres first came out, in fact, funnily enough, have I actually got that edition of Blood Bowl magazine here on my desk? That would be ironic, wouldn't it, if it's the ogre one? Humans, vampires, no. Not in that one. High elves, no, I haven't got them. I actually have 2 original copies of Blood Bowl magazine here on my desk.
Oh, he's made the dodge.
And that one.
Are we going to see a heroic orc passing play here?
Oh, failed pickup.
That's not a good place to fail a pickup.
Still failed the pickup.
Oh!
Well, so he's going to get surfed, and then it'll be a pickup on the 2.
has he got his plus? He hasn't got his plus strength player down there, so he's going to have to do some dodging in order to get the surf. It's not the world's most difficult dodging, but he is going to have to do it. He can get 2 assists dodging 2 players who have dodge and who are not facing tackle.
Bushranger, with the new options in Legendary, how do you think about a fun side tournament where teams have randomly switched races? Imagine final as halflings. Hey, if you want to set up a side competition, Bushranger, we are all for that in the UKBBL. The code of conduct would apply to your competition, but what you'd need to do is run it yourself and then see if you can get people sign up. Feel free. Not your. What's the word I'm looking for?
Knock yourself out.
Knock yourself. Yeah, that's the one. Knock yourself out. If that's something you wanted to try, then please go ahead and do it.
Which also, ironically, makes a good name for a competition.
Well, the play here, obviously, is to stand this catcher up, blitz this lineman off the pit. Oh, it's the strength 4 lineman.
Yeah, no, he's got to bring in the plus agi wrestle dodge as another assist, and then just use the thrower to blitz him off.
Yeah, that's the play. This guy comes in from over there. Here he comes. Honor's seen it. You're much better than Andy Bevan.
As much as I do like to give Andy some stick, I very much enjoyed listening to his commentary. I have to admit. Just
And
a simple
pick
pick.
Oh, he's failed the pick! And he scored it. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Very
Well done,
well
that
done.
thrower. What the hell's the thrower doing that far downfield for a high elf team is beyond me. But well done, that thrower.
It was anything but a traditional
The rules for Snotlings,
drive.
Keith, the rules for Snotlings are very easy. They are movement 5, strength 1, agility 3, armor value 5. They have stunty, they have titchy, they have the right stuff. Any questions?
Oh,
There you go,
and
Pidpad, thanks.
They do have another skill, Gav, but it's not actually one that's coded. It's simply they can hide behind ogres and other people don't
sidestep.
see them.
They have sidestep as well.
That's true.
They have sidestep, Pid. You forgot that. Yeah, sidestep. There we go, Pid. It's like you're typing it just after I said it. Yeah, Titchy's not bad. The thing that a lot of people forget about Snotlings is because they're Titchy, they don't implement tackle zones when you're dodging past them. So an elf can dodge past 6 Snotlings on a 2+. You still have the negative modifiers on picking up the ball, etc. But you can dodge past half a dozen Snotlings if there's space to do so on a 2+.
But they still do force a dodge. It's not that they've
They
got no
force the
tackle
dodge,
zones. They force a dodge, but
They
with
force
no
the dodge,
minuses.
but no negative modifiers. Yeah. Dive and tackle works on them though. That would make it a 2+ to a 4+.
And they hide behind ogres, and so many times you have to be careful when you're playing against those teams to actually look behind the opposition's ogre to see if there is actually a Snotling behind there when you're doing your pathing.
The really good thing, and I haven't looked in Blood Bowl 2, genuinely haven't looked, but in Blood Bowl 1, because the Snotlings were all green and they were so small, they could actually hide in the grass. And
Yeah.
I actually won a couple of matches with ogres where people just didn't even see the Snotling hiding near the touchline downfield. Brilliant.
Probably
Yeah,
people
there we
like
go.
me
Look,
who've got that red
Pidpad
green
is actually
colour blindness.
literally typing as I'm saying it. It's hilarious. We're on sync tonight, you and I, Pidpad. It's getting a little bit scary. Yeah, even an unskilled player on a Snotling only will knock a Snotling over 50% of the time, even with a 3 dice block, because of the dodge. Well, they have dodge as well. Forgot that as well. Oh no, we did say dodge.
Okay, so question for you, Gav, and I'm sure you've been in this position with your Orc team. It's not gone well. You're 2-0 down. There's 5 turns left,
It's
and
time
you're
to
up
throw the
against
ball.
High Elves.
Time to throw the ball. Score in 2. Get the. No, I'm serious. You score the ball. You score quickly, and then you
How
hope
do you
for the
do
blitz.
that with this team? They haven't
Well,
got
it's a badly built
receivers.
team. It's a badly built team.
Okay, so allowing for the fact it's a badly built team, you've got this team.
So what you need to do?
Are
in
you
this
just going to go for
situation-
damage?
No,
Or are you going to
No.
attempt to score?
You attempt to score. You certainly don't block with your blitzers on the line of scrimmage. What you do is you clear that line of scrimmage out and you funnel your blitzers through the middle here. You get 2 or 3 blitzers in a line here. It's this line, maybe a couple that go for it. So you've got a movement 7 blitz, let's not forget. You drop your thrower back because he's got agility 4, accurate, and you score in 2 turns. That's if you're going to win the game. You don't win a game by killing people. This is the Premiership at the end
But
of the day.
I mean, this game's...
Unless you're
You're
going
not
to give up
gonna
on
win
the
it.
game. Unless
But
you're gonna
next
give up on the
game, you've got the Frenzy Blitzer. He only needs a casualty to level up.
Yeah.
You've got a Black Orc over there who only needs a casualty to level up. And is there an argument for looking at, let's try and maximise my chance of levelling up players to give me a better chance of 3 points next game, rather than chase what is nearly a completely lost cause?
I can see your point of view. It's not something that I would agree to do. I always play to win. And I would not view this game. I've been 3-1 down against Dark Elves with Orcs and drawn 3-3. So, with 5 turns to go. So,
With your passing Orcs, though.
well, yes, but I mean, this thrower is a decent thrower, and a lot of the time, I won't have my goblins on the pitch. My go-to guys in that instance are my blitzers, and he's got 4 blitzers. Blitzers are perfectly adequate catchers. They're as good at catching as a human catcher. At the end of the day, they're just a bit slower. They don't have catch, but you know what I mean. The 3+ is a 3+, and he's got rerolls. You only need 1 catch.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I think
But by
he hasn't built his team to play in that style, which is why I don't think we're seeing it now. Because if you have got that mindset, and you will have gobbos on the team, you will push blitzers forward looking to use them as catchers, and he's clearly playing this team as a bash orc team, which is a valid, if dull, play style. But I think, I don't think he's got any thought at the moment of winning the game. Simply getting a touchdown, getting the SPPs, but not doing it quickly.
follow-up question for tabletop. We have 1.15 build. What would happen if I spent the money on 15 snots, 1 Morgan, had 300,000 saved for inducements in every game? Knock yourself out. But you have to have your roster decided at the start of a tabletop tournament. Night, Waldorf. Thank you for joining us. It's been good to have you. Nice to see the numbers swelling this evening as well, towards the end of this game. Oh dear, we're going for a hat-trick. We're going for a 3-0 now.
Yep.
And this is because he hasn't dropped his thrower back.
Are we going to see the leaper coming through, or do you just... I guess it's more sensible just to send the plus Agi to go and do it.
He can get through. He's got wrestle as well. He's better, bringing him down.
Yep.
And then you then use the leaping piece to... It is strip ball though. Oh, he's got sure hands. Yeah, you use the Agi piece and then you leap through with the catcher to pick the ball up and off you go. 3-0.
Yeah, it's only 2+2+, and he's not even going through tackle.
Are you talking about for a tabletop tournament, Keith? If you've got... The roster would be full, but you can take things like... you could take a Halfling Master Chef, bribes...
Oh, he's doing it with the leaper.
Extra rerolls.
It made itself more difficult using that. I like it because I love seeing the flying through the air, but it probably wasn't the percentage play to do.
Maybe you just didn't see it. I think the play was. I mean, That light help. That lineman does have dodge as well.
Yeah, it was 2+2+, and then he also needed to go for it. So 3 2+s
Versus a 3+, 2+.
Yeah. We haven't got Andy with his Samba calculator obsession tonight. Otherwise, we could have known the exact percentage within seconds.
No, Keith, you don't decide the inducements before every game. You have to decide what your roster build is at the start of the tournament. You can't change your build halfway through. Oh, there he goes.
Is that high off thrower again?
Yeah, he
He's not a fan of picking the ball up.
He's not, is he? That was.
But he has volleyballed it nicely.
He was in a tackle zone that time. Well, nothing like. I suppose that the problem here is that's a wrestle catcher that's picked the ball up there.
Yeah, he's surrounded by so much stuff though.
Nothing helps more than your troll going stupid in that position.
I thought I saw the Blitz icon come up there. I'm hoping
Seriously, Keith, if you turned up right to a tabletop tournament with an all Snotlin and Morg build, if you managed to even draw a game, I'd be stunned. Good luck with that. I mean, Snotlins are good, but they're slow. They are really slow. Movement 5 is dwarf speed. Ogres are the second slowest team in the game. Is that fair to say? I think that's probably fair to say.
Well, they got
movement 6 ogres and movement 5 snots, and that's it.
Yeah, and how is it? 4 ogres?
6 ogres you can have.
6 ogres.
Out,
so you got 6 at 6. Dwarfs, you've got 2 at 6 and 4 at 5.
Yeah.
The rest at 4.
Yeah.
So
dwarves are slower, but I don't think there's anybody. Yeah. Even Amazons are 6 across the board. They're pretty slow. Orcs are pretty slow, but
depending on your build.
Yeah, no, well, that's true. Build. Yeah, true. You can take 8 movement 6 pieces on an orc team.
Yeah, can and should.
I mean, I play with 6 movement 6 pieces, which is the same as an orc build. But I mitigate that by not having so many black orcs as well. So I tend to have linemen at movement 5.
What do you tend to use them for, out of interest?
What, linemen?
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying you're sacrificing black orcs for linemen, which would possibly sound to most people as not a good trade. What are you gaining in the trade in terms of how you actually use them? Obviously, you're gaining the agi and the movement.
Well, that's both of those 2 things are the primary reasons.
But what do you use them for? Where do they normally find themselves on the pitch?
They do a variety of jobs. They can fill in for a black orc. You give them wrestle fend. They're more than adequate. They've got AB9. Let's not forget. So they can fill in on a line in the absence of one of your black orcs. But equally, they can fill in for a blitzer.
Oh, we got an orc recovery here.
Throw it. I'm not even joking.
I know you're not, but it's why you go after you've thrown it, because the targets are in no better position.
You throw it now. Oh, he can't. He's blitz. He was the blitzer.
Ah, so he was. Yeah. I always play with the skills up, and it's a complaint I'm sure has been aired many times, not just on this channel, of those big black boxes blocking out a lot of key information.
The other big situation, as pointed out by Bushranger there, you do have the problem of bonehead with ogres. So even though you've got 6 movement 6 pieces, one a turn on the law of averages isn't going to be going anywhere that turn.
Indeed, and losing their tackle zones.
Indeed, and it's when they spam on one turn. That's when it really breaks you.
Well, 3 turns left. Do you think the Orcs have got a chance of actually getting a consolation here, or do you think this is done?
Depends how bold you want to be, how prepared you are to roll some dice.
From what you've seen from the game so far?
No.
No, I can't be optimistic either, but I was hoping that you might have come up with some ray of hope.
The way I'd play this, because this is an agility 4 thrower, so the play here is bring this Black Orc 1, 2, 3, 4 here to this square, directly north of Brian, the third of that string of high elves there. Then you bring your blitzers forward there as well, along the same line.
Sadly, it's the elf turn.
Oh, I know it's the elf turn.
And that actually shows with the troll, it was a critical thing.
That's the wrestle. He's wrestling down. Wrestle for the
This
win.
would have been a lot more difficult if the troll still had tackle zones. So, maybe activating the skulls.
I played Underworld yesterday evening, actually. After Underworld, I played Undead yesterday evening. Going back to your question about what do I use my lineman for? Well, primarily last night, my lineman basically marked two things out. Spent most of their time basically marking things out of the game. First of all, there was two rather nasty Mighty Blow piling on whites, which is great. So lineman went and marked them, especially my Wrestle Fend piece, because you know how much a piling on white loves a Wrestle Fend piece. And if there weren't any of those on the pitch because they got hurt, which they did, it was time to say hello to the mummies.
Isn't that something that a Black Orc would be better at, though?
How so? It's two dice versus two dice.
And with the mummies, yes, but not when you were marking those whites up.
Well, I suppose you could build your Black Orcs, but who's going to put Fend on a Black Orc, really?
I mean, if it's something you think's good, you can put it just as easily on a Black Orc as you can on a lineman.
Yeah, but a block Fend Black Orc is what, 120k versus 90k. I think I know where my value lies. And the other beauty about using the wrestle pieces, if you've moved all your pieces and it's a safe thing to do, just dodge away with your lineman. Last thing of the turn, doesn't matter if he goes down. If you're dodging away from a mummy, you're avoiding the Mighty Blow hit. The ground doesn't hit as hard as a mummy.
I mean, this goes back to an interesting argument that's been had many times on Voice between various coaches on skeletons versus zombies, and I've always been a big advocate of skeletons over zombies, simply because off the ground, when you're movement 5, you've got 100% more safe movement than if you're movement 4, and that could be a really, really big thing. So I guess it's the same call when you're looking at Black Orcs versus linemen. Off the ground, they are 100% quicker.
Totally agree.
I'm only currently running one lineman in my team, and I've only got a 14-man roster with my Orcs, and looking at taking one more, maybe at some time go up to 15. I don't want to go up to 16 because I'm waiting for Bomber Dribble Snot in his place, and as number 16 on the team is pretty much enshrined.
Have you already built your stadium enhancement?
I have, but only because it's long enough until Legendary that I can just switch out and then change it to the star player one.
Bomber's not in the game at the moment, no?
No.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have been have had the star player.
So I have a question. I have a question for the viewers and yourself, Bevan. Right. So next week I've got Verbal's ridiculously agility boosted Wood Elves, and I'm missing, very unfortunately, due to my match against the Undead yesterday. Because unfortunately, they get a couple of good hits off. I'm missing one of my tackle orcs, and I'm missing a block guard Black Orc. In fact, I'm missing my only block guard Black Orc, and I'm missing my tackle guard Blitzer, which sounds dreadful because it's the only guarding Blitzer I have. I also have 260 in the kitty. What would you spend 260 on? Because obviously that's 90k extra TV.
That's an interesting question.
I could just spunk away 200k on upgrading my stadium to level 3. I don't particularly want to buy an extra reroll because that will add to TV.
So you're not interested in anything that's going to add to permanent TV?
Nope.
What? Oof.
Or do I suck it up?
Well, that's a tricky one.
Or do I stick it into inducements?
Well, you could stick it into inducements. I mean, that's...
I'm
When
paying
you
for it
say
anyway.
he's stat boosted, are we talking across
Lots of agility.
strength and agi?
No, lots of agility. He does have a strength boosted, agility boosted ward answer.
Okay. Because I guess the main threat that you've got there is hurting his players, and I'd maybe looking at a bribe. Mostly to stop him from stalling and irritating, and take the game tactic, force him to score early, and then attempt to control a slower drive and hope to remove enough off. And when you have the opportunity, jump up and down all over his stat boosted people.
I don't want to spend all of my kitty Kocha on a wizard and a bribe. I don't want to leave myself with nothing. I'm looking at 10k. I would spend it on Brick, Fast and Grotty. Yeah, but they don't play for orcs, Bush Ranger. Thanks for that suggestion.
How many men on each side is there going to be actually starting the game?
I think Verbal's got... Well, I don't know yet because Verbal hasn't played his match day yet. He's playing that tomorrow. I've got 13 available to me.
Okay.
Which I'm not dreadfully worried about because...
I mean, extra wrestle lineman might be a possible way of using that cash for the game.
Yeah, you can't do that at the moment in Blood Bowl 2.
No?
Mate, you can't buy a skilled lineman as an inducement.
I haven't been in the situation to notice that.
Yeah. You can't do that.
Is that an oversight, or is that?
Sorry, Glasshammer. Sorry, mixing you up with Glasscore. Okay.
Is that a new feature that they've introduced?
No. I think that's been rectified in Legendary Edition as well.
Okay.
I think you'll be able to induce.
We could induce 2 goblins.
Could.
And have them as mobile fouling machines.
But then I'm playing 4 goblins.
But 2 of them are just simply on there to go and jump up and down all over the opposition, and you don't care if they get sent off.
Oh dear. Down he goes again. Oh, he's failed the catch though. Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, that did a lot of bouncing.
That's 3. Did you see how many catches he failed there?
It's
2.
I lost
1,
track, but there's a lot of ones on the
1.
screen.
Oh, and he's failed a dodge now. Oh, and now he's got hurt.
himself.
Okay, so
He had a moment.
the problem is these orcs still haven't got anyone in scoring range.
No. It's
Tell you what, get that black
an
orc
oversight.
moving downfield.
Alright, at this point you definitely need to be looking, where's my guys who could level up?
Yes, agreed.
I want to be blocking with that frenzy guy and seeing if I can level him up. Sadly, that Black Orc was one of the candidates for leveling up, and he's just failed.
How much is Ripper's 270? So I can't get that either. I'll have a look at. Well, I don't know what the TV difference is going to be at the moment, Glasshammer, because he hasn't played his game yet. considerable given the amount of agility boost. Let's have a quick look at his team.
Do you think a wizard is actually particularly useful for you versus that kind of team?
Not really, no. Which would toss us? He's dead. He's dead. Right. So he's got a dodge plus edge lineman, a dodge guard lineman, a dodge plus edge smashed collarbone lineman, a wrestle dodge lineman with armor bust, a plus edge guard lineman, a sure hands dodge double edge busted niggled lineman. Not a lot of block, is there?
Double edge busted?
No, double edge boosted niggled.
Alright, okay.
A catcher with block and move boost, a normal thrower with nothing, a ridiculous tackle plus edge plus strength war dancer, a strip ball war dancer, and a grab guard tree. The wrestle dodge lineman is missing its game this week, and the sure hands double edge boosted dodge lineman is missing its game because of the niggle. That's his current team. Use the wizard on the edge 5 strength 4 wild answer and then stand on him. Nice.
Alright, the play here would be to move your lineman up to provide an assist so that you can then go and blitz off with this frenzy piece. I'm kind of surprised he used the troll for smacking around that lineman he just took down.
Why don't you?
Well,
you only need 1 star player point. A throw is the way to go here if you want to level up that blitzer, surely.
A throw with no reroll.
He's got a reroll.
More chance. Has he got a reroll left?
He's got 1 reroll left.
Oh, yep. Sorry, I was looking at Hon over there. Still, it's not fantastically likely, but yeah, it is a possibility. At least you can do a nice short pass now that this guy's
Although he has got 2
down.
turns to go. If he gets the ball to the frenzy piece, because that thrower can now get to the ball reasonably well. Have a go for it. Throw the ball to the frenzy piece. Off you go downfield.
True. I'm guessing that's what
Because you've knocked everyone down, so now the yeah, he's got to pick up, throw it, just throw it, and off you go.
And or do you go and just move him downfield now, so that if this had cocked up, luckily it hasn't, you still could score next turn.
Yeah, true. That is the other option.
But I'm not sure the thrower would have survived with the ball for that turn, looking at those elves that are around it on the floor. Oh, that's incredibly brave. Take on that block before moving down into scoring range. That's definite brave in inverted commas there.
2 go for it. No?
I think just the 1 should do it. Do the 1 now. Put yourself in scoring range without having to use a go for it.
And the reason I'd say go for 2 go for it, it forces the elves to roll go for it to get to you.
That's true. It's a good point. You may as well now.
In fact, yeah. He's done it. Hope verbal rolls 1s is all I can do. Nice. Thanks. Alright, so there's 1 go for it. Now he's got this block piece. At least it's a block piece.
Yeah, unfortunately now he can also, because he's got that guy there, he can come in and do this block from the sideline, and then if he just gets pushes, shove it straight in front of that sidestepper. That's going to make it more challenging. or you can do it from completely the wrong side.
Gets the knockdown anyway.
Yeah.
That
Doesn't
stops the
matter.
touch.
Yep.
And it's a stun just to boot as well. And can the elves still score? They can, but it's a dodge and 2 go for it. Oh no, they can't. No, they can't. There's nobody in scoring range. So there we go, 2-1. Congratulations to Hon. We'll come out of that now. Thank you very much, Bevan, for joining me this evening. Hope everyone's
You're welcome.
enjoyed
It's been
the
a
show.
pleasure.
And we will wrap up. Thank you very much. We shall have another stream next week. Zunk is back with us next week, and hopefully Andy will be returning from his trips abroad. So thanks very much, guys. Thanks for joining, and catch you next week.